Honourable Member for Virginia Waters.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I stand here today, I'm reminded of this quote by Winston Churchill. Politics is not a game, it is an earnest business. An earnest business listening to people, being a voice for people, standing up for people, and working to make things better for everyone. That is why I chose to enter public life, to make a difference for people. Standing up and doing what's right, sharing ideas, and facing issues head-on, this is something I've done my entire life. My father encouraged me to do it, and I can remember on more than one occasion when a neighbor, a teacher, or some other adult in my young life would go to him and complain about something I said or did, usually in defending someone or sticking my nose into something. He'd shrug his shoulders and he'd tell them, "You're not getting anything past Cathy. She's pretty determined once she latches onto something." But, Mr. Speaker, as determined as I can be, and as much as I've come here to jump into the debates and start working on issues, there is something about standing on the floor of this House, this honourable House, on this spot, representing the District of Virginia Waters, that makes me pause. It's not just the history of this place or the realization that the decisions we make here every day impact the lives of people, of every Newfoundlander and Labradorian, today and in the future. Mr. Speaker, more than anything, at this moment, I am moved by the confidence placed in me by the voters of Virginia Waters. Democracy is an incredible thing, and sometimes we take it too much for granted. But after spending weeks on the campaign trail, and really months in preparation, it's humbling to see it in action and to appreciate the ability of the people of the province to affect change. So first and foremost, I want to thank the people of Virginia Waters for their support, for their faith and their trust that you have placed in me as your representative in this House of Assembly. My commitment to you today, to every person who lives in the district, remains the same as it was on the first day of the campaign and the same as it will be on the last day I serve in this honourable House. My commitment is to you, to serve you, to earn your trust, and to represent you with integrity. Mr. Speaker, Virginia Waters is more than just an electoral district. It is my home. I grew up there. I'm raising my family there. It's where I went to school, and it's where I've built my business. I have deep roots in the district, and my constituents are my neighbours, my friends, and co-workers. And today, Virginia Waters is home to a diverse group of people. There are those who spent their entire lives in the district, growing up as I did in neighbourhoods like Wedgwood Park, Newfoundland Drive, Carrick Drive, and going to neighbourhood schools. These are people who want the same opportunity for their children as they had, but are afraid that as a society, we may be failing our children in this province. Virginia Waters is also home to many residents who moved to St. John's from communities around the province, around our home of Newfoundland and Labrador. I met many of them during the campaign, people who live in St. John's but have deep connections with family around the province. They live in developments like Airport Heights, but they are still connected to their home communities, and they worry about things like caring for their elderly parents who live some distance away. And they struggle with the economic reality of owning a home in the capital city and raising a family. Finally, Mr. Speaker, Virginia Waters is home to a rich and vibrant immigrant community, folks from all over the world who have chosen to make Newfoundland and Labrador their home, to raise their children, and to share in the benefit of living in the best province, in the best country, and they have enriched our community by their presence. Mr. Speaker, I can recall growing up in the east end of St. John's in the 70s and 80s. And as different as things are today, as neighbourhoods expand and as we welcome newcomers to our city, the values and hopes and aspirations of the residents of Virginia Waters remains the same as they were when I grew up. What the people of the province and the people of Virginia Waters want is a good quality of life, a job to provide for their families, a home to call their own, and an education for their children. Mr. Speaker, as everyone in this House knows, public life is not easy. But with the support of mentors like former Virginia Waters MHA Walter Knoll and his team, as well as others, people can step forward and should, including women. And while there is more, so much more, that we can and should do to raise the level of debate and encourage engagement in the political process, it's still a tough and unforgiving business. Often you are only as good as the last thing you did. I have a great deal of respect for anyone who puts their name forward for public service at any level of government for any party. So I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge and thank former Premier Dunderdale for her work on behalf of Virginia Waters. I want to wish her well in her retirement, and while we may not agree politically, I value the trail she blazed, particularly for women in this province. That said, Mr. Speaker, we are under new management, or rather interim management. Mr. Speaker, I am delighted to be here as part of a Liberal caucus. The people of Virginia Waters have not only put their faith in me, but they have put their faith in the Liberal Party and our leader, the honourable member from Humber Valley. Over the past few weeks and months, I have spent a great deal of time with my honourable colleague and have come to know him as a friend. He spent many cold days and nights knocking on doors, climbing snowbanks, and shaking hands during the Virginia Waters campaign. But he also spent an incredible amount of time talking to residents. He clearly understands the issues that voters in the capital city are facing and government's unique responsibilities to its residents. He understands that the people of St. John's are the ones negatively impacted by government's failure to deal with a fiscal imbalance for municipalities. And people of the city have gotten to know him as I have, as a man of his word, a man committed to serving the people of the province, a man focused on rebuilding trust in government. In the months to come, the people of the province will see and hear more from the Liberal Party, from our members, our leader, and the many talented men and women who are seeking nominations. They will see in all of us a common thread, a commitment to creating an inclusive environment where all opinions are welcome, where engagement is real, and where solutions are balanced. Mr. Speaker, there has been much talk about prosperity in this province over the past decade, but the benefits of resource development and the impact on revenues. But for the Liberal Party, prosperity is defined by our ability to align people with opportunity in a manner that elevates the quality of their life. We can only optimize the opportunities we have in this province when the benefits are felt by all, by children, young people, families of all shapes and sizes, single adults, immigrants, persons of disabilities, women, men, young, old, those struggling, and those who have achieved success. Mr. Speaker, we are here today as part of the budget debate. Yet anyone who opened their mail recently might believe that the budget is already passed. You know, I was surprised to receive this expensive piece of political propaganda in my mail recently. I'm not sure what the government was trying to achieve, but I can assure the honourable members that the people see through it. I believe it, Mr. Speaker, because they told me on the doorsteps. So while government points out the 5 things about this year's budget that we need to know, what about the 5 things that you don't know? So let's take a moment to look at those. Number 1, Mr. Speaker, shared prosperity, fairness, and balance. More like lost opportunity and fiscal mismanagement. Over 1,200 people eliminated in last year's budget had their lives turned upside down by this government. Where is the shared prosperity? Investments in the social sector, as per a percent of expenditures, are down from 64% to 59%, and young people who needed help years ago to get ready for today's opportunities aren't getting the help until now, years too late. That's not fair. And this year's budget solution? For $1 billion. Where is the balance? Number 2, Mr. Speaker, creating first-rate education opportunities. More and more kids are graduating from high school where the no-zero policy is disabling teachers from teaching the lessons and providing the valuable learning needed about failure, about success, and about accountability. I have tremendous confidence in our teachers and our students. What I don't have confidence in is a system that doesn't allow the talents of those 2 stakeholder groups to be optimized for the future of our province. We need our children to grow up to be even smarter than we perceive ourselves to be. And children who need early interventions, who aren't getting those interventions when they need them, or in some cases getting them too late to make a meaningful difference in their future success. And Mr. Speaker, math scores are declining at a time when industry is crying out for STEM skills because of the people's resources, not the Tory resources, the people's resources of oil and hydro. And Mr. Speaker, this is not about first rate. Let's talk a moment about providing quality health care. Above all, again and again, the most important issue I heard during the campaign daily on the doorsteps was health care. Young and old people want their government to assure access to the kind of health care system that Canada has built its reputation on. Yet many are on lengthy wait lists for procedures, 5 years for rheumatoid arthritis, long lists for occupational and physiotherapy. People are spending nights in hallways, and in one case, a constituent told me that he spent the night on a cot in what he said appeared to be a linen closet. And we can't even manage basic services as ensuring an ambulance is available when it's needed. We must and can do more to ensure that we have a healthcare system that is accountable while meeting the needs of residents by leveraging the talents of our frontline employees. That's what defines quality health care. Mr. Speaker, the fourth point was building strong communities. My constituents, like many in the capital city and other places in our province, are worried about feeling safe in their homes. They're worried about safety in their neighborhoods, a basic and simple right that people deserve to be safe at home. And taxpayers in St. John's are paying a higher burden to cover costs associated with provincial responsibilities in the city. This means fewer resources for the city to address municipal issues, a direct link to their ability to respond to concerns like snow clearing and quality of roads. By downloading responsibilities onto municipalities, including the capital city, without providing the necessary resources, how is that building stronger communities? And finally, encouraging a vibrant economy. Mr. Speaker, perhaps the government should look at its own budget documents. I'm not sure how they define the word vibrant, but their own budget predicts significant economic decline in 2016 and 2017. We will go from record high employment to seeing employment decline by 13,000 or 5.6% by 2017. And Mr. Speaker, that all is accompanied by declines in all major economic indicators. So today, with little follow-up on oil development benefit agreements needed to grow our oil and gas sector, with continued high employment in rural Newfoundland and workforce and labour challenges in urban centres, and a disconnect between the skills we need today and those that we need in the future, with little progress on economic diversification, which is needed to create long-term jobs, jobs that are needed to keep and attract young people in this province, and with every economic indicator warning us of trouble ahead, what in this budget is encouraging us in any way that we have a vibrant economy? Mr. Speaker, these are issues that we are talking about in Virginia Waters and the people in the district are talking about. Issues that I'm sad to say government has ignored and only paid lip service to in this budget while they promote their version of the past as a reason to trust them in the future. For those of you who don't know me, my life revolves around my family. That doesn't make me different from any other member in this House. My commitment to my family goes beyond providing them. They are my moral compasses. More than members opposite and more than the folks in the press gallery, my family will keep me focused on the work that I was sent here to do. Work that I will do with the values of hard work and commitment and fighting for what's right and fair, and respecting and defending the values and opinions of others. These are the values I grew up with, the values I share with my family and constituents, and the values that will guide me here in the House as we address the issues in a respectful and thoughtful manner. And when we have earned the trust of the people to govern, a Liberal government will be more accountable and will always act in the best interest of the people of the province. We'll be more caring and will better protect those who are potentially vulnerable, including children, seniors, Aboriginal peoples, persons facing challenges due to disabilities or mental health problems. We will be fair, respectful of our people and communities in the province, and we will be focused on prosperity and success for individuals, communities, and the province as a whole. As I conclude, I take a few moments to say a few words to my family. I want to acknowledge that my parents, who taught me the value of hard work, giving back and speaking up, and the importance of doing the right things at the right times. And I want to acknowledge my own family and the contribution they have made. As many members in this House know, public service impacts our families in many ways. And as a mom, the challenges can be even more so. My husband and my children have supported me, and this is truly a family choice, a choice to give back and give voice to people who need a voice. My family is always with me, and I'm always with them, and I will be guided not only by a passion for the people in Virginia Waters and a passion to serve them, but equally by a commitment to my family to serve with honor and integrity so they can be proud of me as I am of them. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the honourable members for their kind words and support over the past few weeks as I've prepared to enter the House. Many of them know me not to be a shy person. I'm not known to be timid or one to be intimidated. And on occasion, I've been known to share an opinion or two. But that said, as rank as debates can be at times, and regardless of our individual political views, I believe we all enter here with the same desire and hope for the future as I do today. There is a great deal of work ahead of us, and the people of the province are depending on us. We must do everything we can as individual members, as caucuses, to ensure we stay focused on the work of the House. Mr. Speaker, as I said in the beginning of my comments today, politics is not a game. It is an earnest business, and we must treat it as such. Thank you.